Hey, everyone. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday to you, Veronica, to Neil, Anika, Jeff. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Fantastic,
Doing good.
fantastic,
Wonderful,
fantastic.
wonderful, wonderful. It is so good to have all of you on. We tried to do this last week, and the enemy must have been busy or was busy trying to stop us from achieve greatness, but nothing has stopped that. And so I am happy to have all of you guys a great conversation around some grown folks and grown folk business, and it's going to be something. Dating in your 50s. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Dating in your 50s, the rules, the reality, and the expectations. But before we get started, what I would like to do is for everyone to kind of introduce themselves. Take a minute or two, not longer than that, just to introduce yourselves, your name, where you are, or where you're living, I guess, if you want to, city, state. And then if you want to give your age, you can also do that and your status as to being single or married or whatever the case might be. And we always start with ladies first. I'm going to exclude Anika on this one because Anika is my co-host. I don't think she's going to mind me doing that. Is that right, Anika? Okay, good. So we're going to start with Veronica first, then we'll go to Neil, and then we'll go to Jeff. So Veronica, why don't you go ahead and kick us off, young lady? Who are you?
Well, thanks, Michael. I appreciate you having me here. My name is Veronica Bell, aka some
Uh-oh,
people call me.
Veronica.
Uh-oh. Can you hear me? Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. AKA Veronica V. Some people call me Queen V. Depends on what community I'm in. I am 54 years old. And I'm a retired human resource director, now really into youth development. I am a Houston transplant by way of hometown, the DMV, the District, Maryland, and Virginia.
Thank you, Veronica.
Oh,
Mr. Niels.
you did
Oh, I'm
ask.
sorry.
So relationship status. I like to say I'm single, no situationship, and I've been married before.
Got it. Thank you, Veronica. Mr. Neil, sir.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Mr. Neil from Detroit, Michigan. Born and raised. I'm a contractor here in the city, and I'm a real estate investor. I do a little content creating. I'm new to that. Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying it. Giving my perspective. I call it VMP, Valuable Man Perspective. So giving a little of that, and I have one child. She's 23 years old. She'll be 24 in September. And I love what I do. I love people. And I'm single. I'm dating, but I'm single. I've been married before. It's been some years now, but I've been married before. And I look forward to the possibilities of meeting someone again with this new me. I'll be able to appreciate them better. I'll be able to understand my roles better, and I'll be able to love better. So I'm looking forward to all those things that come with that.
Nice. Thank you, sir. Jeff Anderson.
All right, I'm Jeff Anderson. A retired I retired Air Force. Um, I'm currently a real estate agent, and I also work at the DEA. I am divorced since 2017. I am currently dating, possibly looking.
I like how you
So, Jeff,
pause,
you're not
man.
single then, huh?
I'll leave it at that for now.
Okay. Okay. Anika, did you want to introduce yourself or reintroduce yourself, young lady, before we get into it?
Yeah, I can. I'm Nneka Owens. I'm a relationship therapist. I own my own practice here in the Metro Detroit area. I have a total of 5 therapists that work with me. I am very, very passionate about relationships. And like Neil said, I'm a lover of people. And I think I mentioned that before. I am a lover of people. And so, with all the hate that's going on in the world, it's hard for me to actually stomach it all. But I'm a lover of people. I've been married 22 years to my wonderful husband, Frederick, with 3 kids, adult kids. And my birthday is tomorrow. Woo-hoo, so I'll be double nickel.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Speed
Oh,
limit.
All right.
Yes.
I tell you one thing, double nickel is a great place. I promise you. I promise you. Okay, here we go. We getting into this thing. Dating in your 50s, the rules, the reality, and expectation. Here's my first question. And Nneka and I are going to kind of bounce off one another, so we'll be kind of moderating. But we really just want to hear from you guys. We don't want to do a lot of talking because we believe this is for folks who are in their 50s. And I got a whole series of things that I'm getting ready to do with folks in our 50s because we're a different kind of 50 than our grandparents or our parents were. And so, or just the generation, I guess, above us. We're a little bit different. So my first question to you guys is, and any one of you can start first. So we'll start with Veronica because she's a lady in the audience. We'll start with her first, unless she doesn't want to. And this is always to you first, Veronica, unless you decide to do something different. All right. So is dating in your 50s harder or easier than it was in your 30s, 40s, and 20s? And if so, why or why not?
Oh, wow. That's a good one. Is dating in your 50s easier or harder than when you were earlier, and why? I would say it's easier. I say it's easier because I know my strengths and my weaknesses and what I have all intentions to bring to the table. I know who I am a lot more, and I know the characteristics I'm looking for in another person. It's a little bit deeper than, when I didn't know myself when I was younger. So I know what qualities that I can bring to the table in order to date intentionally. So I say it's easier. And that's my why. Is why because been there, done that. You've gone through so many people and dated so many people when you were younger because you're just trying to figure yourself out. And as we have now gotten older, it's just easier. I can figure that out with a couple of conversations and won't even bother, going into dating if I don't hear those qualities in the gentleman that I'm having a conversation with right in the conversation. So yeah.
Okay. I got some follow-up questions, but I want to get through everyone first. Neil, how about you, sir?
Well, I'm not well, Veronica, I commend you. I do. You say it's easier. I beg to differ. It's much harder than it was. Me being the man that I am, I've been this man for a long time. So it's not my ability to understand and know and be able to decipher between who I should and who I shouldn't. It's the pool of people. It's the expectations of people. People have a lot of different expectations that they didn't have back in the day. Social media has technology has taken away the physical enjoyment of dating. It's people don't know how to communicate effectively. People have high expectations because they believe they're something that they may not be. They want a lot and don't want to give much anymore. They don't know how to do any introspecting, so they don't take the time to dig into themselves to really see what they really have to offer or not have to offer and to improve themselves. So when you out here trying to date, it's just women just saying what they want and not saying what they're willing to give and what they're willing to offer. So at this age, this ripe old age of 53, I try to date between 35 to 50. I don't try to make, because the older I get, the women tend to think they know everything. They've been there, done that. They, like Veronica said, she thinks she got it figured out as far as, I can see what kind of man he is. The first conversation.
All right, man. Let me give you 30 seconds because you digging a hole here, a little tiny bit.
Man, well, look,
30
I'm
seconds
done.
to wrap it up.
But look, I could keep going, so I don't even want to take up much time. It's pretty arduous. It's enjoyable, but it's arduous.
Okay, thank you, sir. Listen, also too, if you're not speaking, please put your mic on mute because it'll make it a lot easier for all of us to hear. All right, Jeff, what do you have to say, sir?
Okay, I think it's a little of both. It is easier for me because I know what to expect from myself, and based on my past experiences, I know what to look for, or what I'm looking for, or put it this way, what I'm not looking for. I can spot what I don't want very fast, very easy, quickly. um, I guess that's about it. That's about it for now.
Those were some great answers. Nneka, do you want to jump in before I jump back in, young lady?
I want to speak to two things. What Veronica said. I like how you said it's easier, and I would think, Veronica, that it would be easier because, like you said, there's a level of self-awareness that you have. So if you're connecting with other like-minded people, I would think too that it would be easier in your 50s because you've gone through some things, and so you know what you like and what you don't like, and I would think it would be easier. So when Neil says that it's harder, he's dating the age group of 30s to 50.
Oh, yeah.
Is that potentially the reason why it's a little harder? So when you say, I don't know, it just sounds like a bit contradiction a little bit because yeah, a 30-year-old is not going to have the life experience that we have, and they won't be able to appreciate the struggle. And so it's sad to hear that, yeah, this is the age range that you are kind of focused on, and you say it's harder. So have you given, I don't want to ask the question, but yes, I kind of picked that up. And so I do agree with, it's Jeff, right? Yeah. So
Yes.
Jeff said it's a balance of both. So I can see it being a balance of both and not, but more on I would think at this ripe age of 55 or 50s or however old you are, I would think it would be easier. And it's sad to hear that it's not.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing as well. I do have a follow-up question for all of you guys. And again, we'll keep the same order, Veronica, unless you decide to defer to someone else. But what is it? Two things. What is it that you are not looking for, and what are you looking for? Because you actually made that plan, and I thought it would be easier too, Veronica and Nneka, because you do know what you're looking for, and as soon as you spot it, you're like, okay, I'm good. And when you see something you don't like, you're very able to see that as well to say, you know what, I'm up out of here quick. This ain't gonna take but about 2 minutes because it's gonna be high and by.
Well, Mike, that's kind of like a oxymoron question for me. I'm not looking. That's the thing. I believe in the statement, biblical terms, that a man finds a good wife. So I'm not looking. I would say I'm doing life. I'm doing my passion. I'm doing my purpose. I'm enjoying life and the things that I'm into. And if he's in my environment, it's going to naturally click. We're going to be naturally attracted to each other. It's from a mental, not just physical state. And so the qualities and characteristics beyond superficial on the surface that I know he will exhibit is one, first and foremost, he's got to be a man of God. That's it. Bottom line, not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, not just quote scriptures, not just be in the church walls, because I'm not in the church walls right now. I'm going to church. I'm looking for a church home for almost a year. So it's got to be proof in the pudding. There's a lot of gentlemen out there that will say, yeah, I'm a man of God, quote, but and they can quote scriptures around me. And I'm like, I may not know that scripture, but my lifestyle is going to demonstrate how I walk. So that's what I will be looking for if he's in my environment, if I'm in the right place. So when you ask what you're looking for, I'm not really looking. If he shows up, great. I might not be in the right place. That may be why sometimes it's a little difficult. But so that's one of the key qualities that I'm looking for. And I'm not looking for no spiritual, super religious kind of dude kind of thing. You got to be down to earth, because I'm down to earth. Practical, know how to have fun, but know to go to the higher being, because I'm God's daughter. So he knows my heart. And if he knows God himself, he'll know how to deal with me through him. When I'm acting up, he'll know to go through him and be like, look, V is acting up. I need your guys. She not agreeing with me, but she going off the cuff. So that's one quality I can definitely say that I would be keeping my eye out for.
Yeah, I asked the question because, and thank you for sharing it. I asked the question because some people have parameters, right? They'll say, well, he has to be 6'2", or I don't want a guy that's 5'2", oh, I don't want a guy with a beard. I don't like guys with, I like guys with bald heads. I like, this, that, or the other. So I asked the question because there is, you're right, for your scenario where you're looking for a God-fearing man, he still comes in one of those shape, sizes, and colors, or whatever the case might be. But also, too, I mean, as a human being, there are things that are attractive to you versus not attractive to you. So that's what I was trying to get to. Not necessarily, you trying to probably go after him. Although we're gonna get to that as well, because that is a question I have for the ladies, for you, Veronica, because the other guests couldn't join us. I hope she can join us later, but for you as well. But that's what I was trying to get at as well, because I'm assuming you're gonna want somebody who looks a particular way, because we have eyes and we're all physical to a degree, right? We know what we want because you don't know a person's brain or what's in their mind until you get a chance to speak with them. And typically they aren't even able to speak to you unless they meet a certain physical characteristic, right? Unless, and maybe I'm off here, maybe that's not the case for you. Maybe it's just, you just need to hear him speak, and then everything else will just resolve itself. So it doesn't matter how tall he is, if he's working or not, what city he lives in, how tall, none of those things matter. He just needs to speak, and then you can tell if, he's the man of God that he's sending your way. Is that the case?
Right. I hear you. So you want to know the aesthetics, what's on the surface. Men are the visual creatures, and women, I can speak for myself. Yeah, I like watching eye candy. So if he has all the physical attributes that attracts me naturally, that's great. I would definitely say this. He has to at least beat my height without heels on.
See, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. So if he's not your height, and I'm going to pick on Nneka here, if he's not your height, then it's not going to work. And then Nneka, I'm gonna let Nneka speak to that a little bit later. I always tease her about this, but yeah. So if he's not your height, okay, so he must be at least your height. Veronica, I know you. I know how tall you are. Could you tell the audience how tall you are?
I'm 5'9" without heels. As I get older, it feels like I'm 5'8.5" sometimes, but I'm 5'9" without heels, and I typically wear a heel. I'm telling you, I'm going to probably wear a 4-inch heel on any given day, not unless I'm exercising or working out. So I can easily be 6 feet. And my reason behind that is that I need him to be confident. I need him to be confident. And I need to see him eye to eye. I need to continue to be submissive. And I know myself. So if he's shorter than me, I don't want to have to be looking down a little bit. I don't want to have to be looking down, so I need him to at least be eye level, so I can stay in check in that area. So that's first and foremost, definitely. I'm attracted to men with hair, facial hair. I'm just telling you, facial hair. I think that's because my father has been predominantly in my life, constantly, my biological father and my bonus father, and they both have beards, and I just think that's extremely attractive. I'm not attracted to men who was completely facially bald. He gotta have something on there, more fuzz than I got on my face.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's move on to Neil. Neil, you've heard what Veronica said. So if you somewhere in that vein, what are you looking for? We know so far you are looking for a woman who's in her 30s, probably her early to mid 30s, all the way up to 50, and then take it from there, sir. What are you looking for in a woman? Sorry, go ahead.
Physically attractive, of course. I was laughing at Veronica because she went straight to the God-fearing and just negated all the physicalities, and it was crazy to me. I don't even understand that. How can you skip everything that you just said that you have to have and go straight to God-fearing? I didn't get that. But she has to be attractive to me. She has to be physically in shape.
What is attractive, by the way? Could you be?
I'm giving you some attributes. I'm giving you some attributes. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some attributes. She's got to be physically. She has to be physically in shape. I'm in shape. I'm in very good shape, actually. So she has to be physically in shape. She has to work out. Skin tone doesn't matter to me. Hair length, it doesn't really matter anymore. It did used to matter. But the face in the face, she has to be a pretty woman to me. She may not be pretty to everybody, but she needs to be pretty to me. She doesn't have to be God's fearing, but she needs to be spiritual. Well, that's God fearing to me. You got to be God fearing. I believe you got to believe in a higher power. It don't have to be Jesus. And just as long as you believe in a higher power, you got to be a good person. You have to love people. You have to understand respect. You have to have emotional intelligence. You have to be a feminine woman. You have to
Mm,
know how to speak appropriately to a man. You have to
mhm,
be a nurturing woman. You know what I'm saying? So I believe that people don't have to go to church and they don't have to be into Jesus to be good people. To be good people that understand what love is, they know how to show love, they know how to receive love, and they know how to move appropriately on this planet that allows other people to attract to them. The age 35, I don't want no 31, 32. Don't want that. The minimum is 35. Would I go past 50? Yes, I would. I probably would go to my age. It depends on the woman. She has to be something exceptional to me, because I know what comes with younger women is that they're not as knowledgeable about certain things. So that is something that I have to deal with younger women. Their lack of experience with certain things, but because of my experience, I'm okay with certain things that they don't know. They have to be open minded.
mm.
So that's the thing with any woman, whether you older or younger, you have to be open minded. You have to be willing to hear what I have to say, and I'll be open minded with you as well. So, that's I can go on, but that's a good starting point.
No, that's good. Thank you, Neil. Mr. Jeff Anderson, sir.
Um, I want someone probably between the ages of 47 to 60. Um, One of the things that I look for is accountability. I want
Mm,
someone who is accountable for their behavior, someone who knows how to apologize, someone who knows how to talk to me. Um, Physically, she has to be, you know, I'm not saying she has to be all in shape, but I'm in my 50s, so I expect some give and take there. You know, I want again, I want someone who again, for me, I'm not looking. I try to work on myself to present the best me that I can present. And as I go out in the world, if I'm showing that I'm the best me, I will attract people that are like me or like minded who like me or who want to, at least try to get to know me. So to me, that's what makes it easy for me is that I'm not out on the prowl. If
mm.
I'm out and it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. No expectations for me when I go out. So I always try to keep it like that now. That's it.
Got it. What's the Anika? Did you want to jump in? Because I got a ton of questions.
Well, I did. I want to talk to Veronica because I had well, I want to kind of share something. I'm going to disclose some things. Veronica, I'm a tall woman too. I'm a tall girl. I'm five. I used to be 5'8.5", but I've kind of shrunk a little bit. So I'm probably like 5'8". And I remember, Veronica, I was that way. You had to be 6 feet over. And it's something about a tall girl. When we see each other, we get this eye like, hey, we all excited. It's a tall girl in the house. Because growing up, it was hard for me being a tall girl, because I was taller than all the boys, right? But then when I got to high school, it was okay. So there was a part of me that felt like the smaller guys didn't want to date me. So I kind of said, well, I don't want to date y'all either. Right. So I always said I wanted a taller guy. If I wore heels, he still got to be taller than me. So my point in saying all is my husband is my height. And when I put on heels, I am taller than he is. And when I say he is so proud of that, he called me his supermodel. That's what he calls me all the time, my supermodel. And he is so proud of that. He is okay with it. Now, if he wasn't okay with it, it would be a problem. But my husband walks tall. He's not that tall, but he walks tall. So it's really about the stature, how a man carries himself. So don't lose out on somebody that could potentially be your height. And I'm so happy that I did not allow the aesthetic of my husband, because he's a good-looking man. But I'm glad that I did not allow his height to discourage me from really getting to know him. 22 years later, hey, it's a good relationship. And so I just want to encourage you not to allow that to be, a deal breaker.
And real quick, because I want to jump in here, Nneka, because I actually said what I said because I was hoping that you would probably shed some light there. But what made you change your mind about looking at a man who wasn't, who wasn't exactly your height with heels versus a man who was shorter than you? What changed it for you?
Well, the thing is, it's never been a problem for me until the guys back in the day, they shrunk when they were around me. So I didn't want to deal with that shrinkage. Like, don't shrink or feel like, girl, don't be wearing no heels. I don't want that. But Fred, when he entered into the picture, after that, I dated all tall guys. Only tall guys would approach me. So it was almost like I didn't have the option to date a guy my height until Fred, because he was bold enough to, to look past the fact that I was a tall woman and get to know me. So that was it. He gave me a chance. He didn't judge me being a tall person. And so I don't know if some men were just intimidated by my height, but he wasn't. And so there you have it.
Real quick, Jeff and Neil, take your phone, take your tablets or whatever off of mute, because I have a question for you guys. Are you guys interested in tall women, or are you intimidated by tall women? What's your preference?
Preferably, I would like a shorter woman. I've dated a woman my height. Probably.
Well, hold on a second. Let me throw one more thing at you. Neil, how tall are you, by the way?
5'10".
Yo, how tall?
5'10".
You're 5'10", right?
Yeah.
Got you. Go ahead.
So yeah, I've dated a couple of women my height. I can't spell insecure. I don't know what that look like. I don't know what it sounds like. I don't know how to spell it. I want women to look at what I got. I want men to look at what I got. I want everybody to look at what I got. You know what I'm saying? I want everybody to want what I have. So is insecurity. If I ever feel a hint of insecurity, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Because then I can't trust you, and then I won't treat you the way you deserve to be treated if I'm acting in an insecure manner. So
Neil, you wouldn't. Excuse me, Neil. You wouldn't date a 6 foot or 6'2" woman.
She got to be so cold-blooded. If she cold-blooded, when I say cold, she got to be cold. If she put some heels on, she's 6'4" and she cold-blooded, absolutely I will.
Neil, they out there, Neil. I'm just saying.
I look, I don't turn. The thing is finding someone that I'm attracted to. It's not finding someone to date. It's finding someone that I want to really date. There are a lot of amalgam of women out here that are attracted to a decent looking man. I don't think I'm fine. I think I'm a decent looking man. I think I carry myself pretty decently. I dress decently. You know what I'm saying? So there are a lot of women that are attracted. I speak, intelligently. My vernacular is astute. So, women like that. So it's not hard to date. It's just finding someone that I'm attracted to that I want to date.
Got it. Hey, so Jeff, how about you? Would you date a 6-footer? If you stand
yes,
up, what's your height, Jeff? How tall are you?
I'm 5'9", and yes, I would. And I have dated, folks that are taller than me, and I had no problem. As long as she doesn't have an issue with it, I'm fine with it.
Yep.
Okay. That's good. That's good to hear. All right. So next question. What is the hardest thing about dating in your 50s? Because I would have, like we started off saying, we thought it might be easy, and we didn't talk about why not. But what is the hardest thing? And I want to, Veronica, for a second, I'm going to skip around here. What is the hardest thing, Jeff, about dating in your 50s, and the thing you wish you could change?
For me, it's the past, not being quick to dismiss someone based on previous experiences that I had. So I have to sit in it and kind of let it flow, simmer and move forward without having any preconceived notions about things that have happened to me in the past. So I always try to keep an open mind. And for me, I really like to talk now. I really like to, to try to work it out. And if I'm having a problem or an issue or any kind of concern, I'm going to bring it to her, because I don't want anyone guessing what's on my mind. I want to be clear. I don't want no gray area. So, just that.
Veronica, same question.
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah. What's the worst thing about dating in your 50s and why?
I would think that dating in the 50s and what was the worst. Some people at our age, I would imagine, they might have been in a very long-term relationship and just getting out there dating recently and not really completely healed themselves without being with that other person for so long. So they may be still holding on to past hurts, and sometimes that could be put on the person that you're dating. I've experienced that. It's like, I'm not her. I didn't do that to you. I didn't say anything like that. And they may be still carrying that hurt over while they're dating and trying to heal. And to me, that's not fair to the person you're dating. That's not fair to me when they're doing that. And they kind of like put us in the same box, and I'm a totally different person. So sometimes I kind of take my time when in asking a person, how long ago has it been since you've been in a previous relationship? And I understand that, there's no time frame that I have in my mind. I just need to hear that they are in a healing state where they won't necessarily hold something against me, and they're getting to know me, and it's triggering all the time from what they've experienced. So to me, that's the hardest thing. You want to give someone an opportunity, but if they're not healed, I'm not trying to be a part of that abuse again that they've experienced.
Thank you, Veronica. Mr. Neal, sir, same question.
All right, what I found as I matriculated through life in this dating world, that it's the lack of male experience that women have that I've been dating, and that I'm seeing. They not having fathers in their life, or there wasn't a father, having a brother that was real, that communicated to them effectively about dealing with men, their mother teaching them how to treat men, how to speak to men effectively, and knowing what to do when it comes to being feminine and nurturing. I'm finding a lot of women are so they inculcate so much of their energy into their education and their careers, that they don't take the time to understand, if you want to be with a man, you have to understand what it takes to be with a man. Know how to speak to him effectively, the way you talk to him, the way you treat him, all of that, the attentiveness, all of that is important. And I'm finding that a lot of women are lacking in that area. That's where I find the most difficulty in, is women just don't know how to treat. And when you get a good man that of quality, that has emotional intelligence, that knows how to treat you, that's going to take care of you good, he knows what he wants, and he knows what he's expecting from a woman, and not over the top things. And I'm finding that women are just not knowledgeable on how to treat a man. They just think, I'm a hard worker, I'll make good money, I'm cute, that should be good enough. But that's so far from the truth. So that's the most difficult thing I found.
Okay. Nneka, I don't know if you had a question. I'm gonna just make sure I don't skip over you before I just keep going here.
I guess the question that I have is just like, what was the message growing up? And I think, Neil, I appreciate you kind of bringing up just like family history and messaging. Like, what was the message growing up? Like, this is really to the men. And Veronica, I want to hear from you too. But what was the message growing up about dating and marriage? Was there an intentional message around being in a relationship? Or was it, whether it was implicit or explicit, direct or indirect? Like, what did you see? What was the message, growing up from your parents, uncles? If you guys can kind of shed some light on that.
I didn't see a solid relationship when I was younger. My mom, she had a boyfriend. He came over once a week because he was married. You know what I'm saying? So he brings some Donetta shrimp, so he bought some Chinese food. He sat on the couch, and I go to the kitchen table and eat the shrimps with mama, and she'll sit on the couch. I go in my room. I didn't see. My sister was the only person at the time, she was married, and I kind of saw what a relationship was through her. But I really didn't see many relationships being younger. So I desired to be a good man. I desired to be a dad. I desired as a child. I desired to have a family. I desired that, and I joined church earlier in my life. So I went through the ranks of church in such a way that it helped to cultivate me. So Christianity, I don't denounce or shoot down Christianities per se,
Okay.
because I benefited from being a Christian in many ways. But yeah, that's didn't see it. Didn't see it. My relationships and going to counseling and learning about myself, doing a lot of introspecting and things like that helped me to cultivate my manhood to a degree to where I could be as an effective man in a relationship with a woman as I possibly could be.
Okay. Thanks, Neil. Same question for you, Jeff, and then I do want to ask Veronica the same question.
For me, growing up, I didn't see any positive. My parents were divorced when I was in the second or third grade. Um, Most of the things I saw were young men always pushing to get as many women as you can. That was your badge of honor, to knock off as many women as you could in any given day, year, whatever. Always have, you know, a few women on the side. So I, for me, so when I started going to church is when I started seeing more positive role models in relationships, and some long term stuff. But for me, growing up, I always got the other message where just go out here and have fun, and just do whatever.
Thank you so much, Neil and Jeff. What about you, Veronica?
For me, I would say I saw both sides of the fence. My parents were married for 16, 17 years, but it was a very abusive back and forth, separating back and forth, constant relationship. And either I would get pulled with my mother or pulled with my father. It was a lot of back and forth. And I witnessed, and they had a lot of married friends who were married longer than them around me. So I kind of like saw both and was trying to figure out, what was going on with my parents, what made them the way they were. And at one point I thought it impacted me, and it probably did to some degree. And but my father was a workaholic. My father he's a grinder. I mean, he was out there, he was bringing that bacon home. And so he was barely home. And my mom was, part-time working, and she was, at home caring for, me and my brother. And so it gave her a lot of time. And so I kind of witnessed I guess you call it the nurturing, the traditional woman taking care of the home kind of thing, and then her wanting to have a career kind of influenced me that I don't want that. I want to be out there with that career, and I can do both and still be married, but didn't work out with that with me. So I experienced both long-term relationships and not being healthy, and those that appeared to be healthy because they were together for so long, but you don't know what was going on in those marriages. And once I completely gave my life to Christ, I was surrounded by those couples that demonstrated, Christ and how he loves the church and the wife and the husband. So that's my experience. So if I had mixed.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Veronica. Can I ask I just want to make a statement, Michael. So
Please.
Neil, when you said earlier about just dealing with women with insecurities, and this is something that me and Michael always talk about, understanding why the insecurity. So when you think about people not having life experience, not seeing people do relationships, whether it's an uncle, mom, dad, there will present some insecurities there, because a person who don't have the social and emotional intelligence is going to breed insecure. And so I would just want to encourage, I think we all should try to understand the why to people's behavior. And I think so often we live in this era of just quit. And where, back in the 70s, the era was you stick with it. And so I was doing some research, and they said back in the 70s, 60% of Black people were married. But today, only 30% of Black people are married, and people just give up. And it's just they don't want to do the heavy lifting. And Neil, I remember back in the day when we were at the truth parties, that's one of the things we would often talk about. Are we willing to do the heavy lifting? You're gonna work. Remember that one analogy that you gave, Neil? If you just work out this one arm, the left, and then your right is not worked out, it's weak. So you got to work all muscles. And so I think it's important to ask those questions and not be so quick to give up.
I have a question. That's the one thing that I find, that after 6 to 8 months, when things always start to get tough, women want to go because they want to keep that honeymoon stage. You know, if it's not as soon as it starts to be work, then nobody wants to stick around and work. They all want to jet. You know, to find the next phase of 6 months to a year where they just getting everything that they want. And every time it's time to work, it's time to move on.
To Jeff, you hit the nail on the head. I find that when I'm dating women, the beginning stages are great. But when I start dating, I'm not pointing anything out. I'm not telling you a lot about what I'm seeing. I'm trying to allow you to be yourself. I'm allowing you to show me who you are. And then I'll see within a month or two if we have some consistent dating, not dating once a month, but if I go out with you a few times a week, and we do that for about a month or two, I can see the things I need to see to know if I'm willing to take the time and invest in her and say, well, look, babe, there's some things that I want to bring to your attention. Maybe you might want to think about. And a lot of times they be like, what do you mean? Because men don't do that. Men are not effective communicators in most cases. And men don't know how to decipher, the different attributes of a woman that need to be addressed towards them. So they just go through go through the motions with a woman. And because she's pretty, or she might be able to cook, or the sex might be good, but the other things that they need to sustain a long-term relationship they don't get, but they accept those other things. So it gets a little. It's Jeff, you hit it. They give up. They don't want to be told anything, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? When you go to tell them something about themselves, they look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, I know what I'm seeing. I'm trying to help you. I know you've heard this before, maybe. And if they don't never hear it, if I'm the first person to say it, then I'm wrong. I'm on some foolishness because no man has ever told them the truth. Give me my offering when this is over. I know I'm speaking. I know I'm talking the truth. I know I'm talking the truth.
I got a question for Mr.
Come
Neil.
on, Veronica, jump on in here.
Mr. Neil, why do you wait so long to tell them what you see?
Well, because
how long did you say you wait before you? A month?
About a month. It depends on what it is. See, I'll say this.
Hold on, Neil. Hold on 1 second, Neil. Hold on.
Yes,
Let's let Veronica get some of this out because we need to hear from her as well.
Come on, Veronica. Come on with it, baby.
I'm just curious. I mean, constructive criticism done in love is great, and there's a honeymoon phase. If it's done in love and it's great in criticism, but I'm wondering, why are you waiting so long up front to let her know what she doesn't possess that you're just not interested in? For me, don't waste my time, baby. Tell me immediately what I don't have that you desire so I can know whether or not I can supply it or not.
Woof.
Come with it.
I didn't say that. That's not what I said.
Veronica, keep your mic on because we want to hear from you. So keep your mic on now.
I didn't say that. I said what I do is I'll give the relationship in the beginning a good month or so that I can fill her out and see what type of woman she is. I want her to be herself. And then I take notes to see if those attributes that I feel that may be problematic are worth working with. And if they're worth working with, then I'll start bringing things up because I need you to be yourself. I'm not coming in and telling you I don't like this, I don't like that. If it's things that I can deal with, I'll accept them so that I can cultivate a relationship that is mutual enough that she can have a level of respect for me. So then when I do get to speaking about the things about her that might be derogative to her, she'll be more open to be receptive. So I'm not going to go into no relationship with a person the first month or so and see qualities that, I might be able to work with that for now. Let me see. Now, if it's something I can't deal with, clipped. You get clipped. First conversation, you get clipped. The third conversation, you'll get clipped. I've done multiple ones like that recently. Clipped. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't have time if it's something I know that I can't deal with. If I can't deal with it, there's nothing to talk about, or we don't have to have any more conversations or anything. You're a beautiful woman, but I clipped.
Right, but you don't know what those are up front.
No, how am I gonna find those things? Bring that to me, because I'm missing something. I'm missing something you're saying. So help me out so I can understand.
I'm just trying to understand that you say you're gonna clip them after 30 days and so on and so forth. And once you figure out the qualities she possess, even though you're allowing her to be herself, if she's showing you, everybody's probably bringing their representative up front in the first place, but
exactly,
they're not being genuine. If they are being genuine up front, because I'm gonna be myself up front, so I got to think about me. I can't think about these other women you talking about, because you even going to the 35 and younger. So I think that's the issue right there. But because they don't know who
it's
they
not
are.
an issue.
But it's all right. It's all right. I'm just like I'm just trying to figure out. Do you know what you want up front? You just don't want to expose it to the lady.
I'm gonna say it one more time. I'm gonna say it the same way again.
One more time. Senior
when
moment.
I'm dating a young lady, whether she's 35 or 55, I am not about to nitpick her in the first month. I'm going to allow her to be herself. If there's attributes that I can't deal with, I'll see them off rip and I'm clipping. If I see some things that are workable, but I need to bring to her attention after a month or so, then I'll gradually be like, hey, babe, it's a couple things I'd like to talk to you about. You know what I'm saying? Because if those things are egregious, I'm not going to give it a month. I'm only giving a month or so to a woman that brings certain qualities that I know I need, and if she has certain attributes that can be worked with, because Nneka just spoke, we give up too soon, and I don't do that. I'm willing to stick and stay, but it has to be attributes that's workable. I'm not sticking around for stuff that are deal breaker items for me. It's not gonna happen. If I see that in the first 5 words clipped, not doing it.
And so the woman also has to be able to receive the information.
Say it again, Jeff.
I said, and the woman has to be able to receive it and not get mad and not get fussy with it. Be able to receive it, think about it, process it, and see if it's true or not.
What information specifically, Jeff, might that be?
If it's something, that you don't agree with, or just in your talking, like say she a Democrat and I'm a Republican, and we getting into a clash there, and you want to speak your mind and she doesn't agree with it, but it becomes an argument, and it becomes over talking and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes you got to be able to listen and comprehend and understand, and be able to disagree or agree, but still be able to maintain respect throughout the conversation and not get hot-headed and flustered or emotional about the situation.
So this is a question for Neil and Jeff, because it sounds like you guys are experiencing some of the same things. Is it that some of these ladies that you're dealing with, they don't have, or they lack conflict resolution skills, and then they just kind of go off on a tangent? If you say something, they just kind of go off. Is that what we're talking about, or am I missing?
I won't say. Go ahead, Jeff. No, you go ahead.
You go ahead.
Okay, I wouldn't
say.
Hold on,
wait 1 second. Neil, hold on 1 second. Jeff, you go, because we've heard less from you than from Neil, and then Neil, you go.
I would say that sometimes I don't think that some women haven't been told that they were wrong or
Mm.
had to, deal with someone, pointing out something that is wrong about them or something that's indifferent about them, and they take offense to it and not really hear what is being said and just listen to it and kind of marinate on it and see if it's true or not. Because I've dated women who have gotten upset about things that I've said, but then have come back 2 or 3 days later and said, you know what, I can see where you're coming from. It's something that I might need to work on, but no man has ever told me about this. I've been in this world for 40 years and nobody has ever pointed out something like that to me. That's about it.
Neil?
It's about perspective. We all have our own perspective of certain things, and when we in dialogue and conversing, and we talk about a particular topic that we might not agree upon, it's called perspective. I might view it and see it one way, you might view it and see it another way, but as adults, we should be able to understand each other's perspective. We might not agree, but to understand. I just need understanding. I just need you to understand me. You might not agree, and we can agree to disagree. You're not going to agree with everything I say and vice versa, but it's about perspective. Understand my perspective, where I'm coming from. And I don't try to speak intelligently on anything that I'm not intelligent on. If I don't understand what I'm speaking on and speak with a, emphatic about it in a way that, I want you to really hear me, I won't speak much on that. I'll be more of the receiver in the conversation, and I'll try to get their perspective more and try to acquiesce to what they're trying to explain to me. But if it's something that I know what I'm talking about, I will speak in a way that will make you think I'm really trying to get my point across, because I am. And if you see that, your emotional intelligence should be like, okay, he's really speaking about this in such a way. Let me listen to this man for real. He might be trying to really say something to me and I'm not getting it. And that's one of the problems that I have.
Got it. Nneka, did you want to say something to that?
Yeah, I think it's all, and I think, and I've shared this with Neil. I feel like sometimes tone can compete with the real message.
Mm.
And I always say, whenever I have to bring bad news to people or speak on something hard, because in reality, a lot of people don't. We talk about conflict resolution. A lot of people, like you talked about, Mike, a lot of people don't know how to do that because they have not been intentionally taught how to do it. There's a lot of intention around, like I was saying before, a lot of intention around a kid. When you have a baby, teach them how to hold a bottle, teach them how to, tie their shoes, ABCs, please and thank you. Then at some point we kind of drop the ball and we're not as intentional about conflict resolution and introspection and forgiveness and being able to have the hard conversations. And so if we're not sensitive to that, not to say that you got to kind of face a situation with kid gloves, but you do have to present it in a way that a person can receive it. And sometimes, although you may think you're presenting it in a way that a person can receive it, a lot of times before I say anything, I ask, hey, do you mind if I share something with you? Because sometimes people are not ready to hear what you have to say. And they say, no, I ain't saying nothing. I want to share something with you. Are you open to hearing from me? But a lot of times we just inject ourselves without the permission of that person, because they say they're not ready to receive it. Then you don't say it. But then they say, you know what? I'm ready. But a lot of times you got to catch people when they're in the headspace to receive things, because sometimes we're not creating the safe space for people to receive from us. So I always say, if you're on the giving end of something, you're sending a message, you should always ask first before you just inject yourself, because some people ain't ready for it. And then there's your answer. You say, at what point can I have this conversation with you? They say, when they say it, then we have the conversation.
Good point.
Yeah. Great point, actually.
Thank you.
Neil, you mentioned something, and we haven't touched on this yet. Veronica, this is mainly for Veronica. It's for all of you guys, but Jeff and Veronica. Neil, you said 35 to 50-ish is your range. Veronica, do you have a range? Would you, and this is really for dating younger, really. because we see now a lot of men tend to date younger. I know women date younger as well, but it seems like overwhelmingly men tend to date younger. So I'm just curious for you, Veronica, and Jeff, I'd love to hear from you about this as well. Does age matter? Would you be willing to date like Neil does? Would your scale slide that much where he's almost 20 years younger and then he goes to write about his age? Would you do that? Is that something you'd be interested in? Because we see a lot of men doing it, and we'll talk to Neil. Neil shared about why he did and why he, why he did, and we'd love to know from you, Veronica and Jeff, why or why not.
For me, no, I ain't going no 35.
Okay.
Oh, hell to the no.
Okay.
I probably stay. I probably stay somewhere between 47 at the most, maybe 45, but I'm not going too low. And it also depends on her mindset, her maturity, and stuff like that. But yeah, 35 is a no way. Yeah, I can't do that.
Jeff, so it's funny to hear you say that, but why would you say hell no to going down that far? I'm just curious because again, Neil did go that far. I'm just wondering what's your reason for not going that far?
I don't want to teach that much. I mean, there are things that they don't know and they haven't experienced where I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't got much more time here, and I ain't got time to be doing all that teaching about to bring you up here emotionally to my, to where I am. I just don't want to do that. I want somebody who's on, somewhere around my age. Like when I listen to Earth, Wind and Fire, they like, oh, I know that. Not that it's a some clip in a song, a bar. They're like, I ain't never heard that song before. So
right.
Yeah, I want somebody who can, when I talk, we have something in common around that, the same time frame. 35.
Okay. Great answer, by the way. Veronica, how about you?
Yes, great answer.
I don't think I would go below 48, 5 years younger than me. Because I'm a intellectual. I like deep conversations, and I'm not quite sure. I haven't came across any gentleman that is having the deep conversations, after 45. They may be here, but I just haven't engaged with them. So I don't think I would go any younger than that because I have sons that are 35. So I don't want to feel like I'm a cougar. So and I have dated as older I'll say seasoned as 70. As long as they can keep up with my pace, because I'm not your average 54 turning 55. I'm always on the go. I do so many different things. And I've been told, some people have told me, can you sit down somewhere? I'm tired of watching you. But, they have to be able to keep up with my pace, regardless of age, and have to be able to have deep, stimulating conversation, because that's where it's at for me.
Wow. All great answers. Neil, we'll let you jump in again because I saved you last, Neil, by the way, because I really want to know your explanation for going as far down as 35. And I'm going to tell you why I say this, Neil. My oldest daughter is 31. I've been married for 31 years. I couldn't even imagine if I was dating someone that close in age to my daughter. So I'm just curious. And again, I think I might have saved the best for last. But I'm so eagerly waiting to hear what you have to say about this.
Me too, Neil.
Well, I'll say this to you. My daughter's 23 going on 24. If my daughter was 31, 32, I wouldn't date a 35-year-old. So with that's the first part. Second part is I'm not going to minimize the intellectual prowess of a 35-year-old person. I've dated plenty of 35-year-olds that were very intelligent, had their stuff together, they communicated effectively, we got along well. There were some challenges there and things didn't work out, but it's not that there's a lot of very intelligent, smart, astute, emotionally intelligent 35, 36, 37-year-olds. So I'm not going to minimize and say I didn't have to teach them what I heard Jeff say, the teaching part. I'm a teacher by nature, and I don't want a woman I can't teach anything to. That's the first part. I've dated women my age. I've dated women older than me, and I need somebody that is physically sound. And I'm not ready, and I'm going to say it, ladies, please forgive me because I know y'all gonna look at me crazy. I'm not ready for menopause yet. I'm not.
Mm.
I'm not ready for it. And I'm just being honest with you. I work out 7 days a week. I am in very good shape. And, I do a lot. I got a lot going on. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody that can keep up with me. And I've dated women, and I'm not minimizing the menopause thing. I understand that's a part of life. When I get married, if I marry someone and they get to that point, I'm going to love them through it. I'm going to be there 110%. I'm going to make whatever adjustments I have to make sure that I can accommodate them. But until that point, I don't think I'm ready for that. And because I've dated women that were going through that, and it was very challenging. Mood swings, just a lot of stuff that, that was affecting me. And I'm like, I'm not ready for that. So that's one of the other reasons. And then the last reason why I like a younger woman is because younger women are fun. They are. They're fun. I'm not saying older
In
women
what ways,
can't
Neil?
be fun.
Excuse me, I
They're
don't need to cut you off, but in what ways, Neil, are they more fun than women who are probably a little bit more seasoned?
when I go out, like when I go on vacations, I like to do a lot of things sometimes, and I need someone that wants to keep up with that. My ability as a man, and the things that men and women like to do. Uh, I like to enjoy and indulge in certain kind of ways, and older women are not able to sustain or keep up.
Well, hold on, wait a
Um,
minute. Let's hold on, Neil, 1 second, because you're speaking in generalities, and this is just for me now, because I'm very curious to know, because I love your answers. Could you be more specific? What, like, for instance, what activities would I guess an older woman not be able to keep up with you? Like, so you go on vacation? Are you talking about jet skiing? You talking about jogging on the
it's
beach? You talking
Yeah,
about going to the gym?
it's not she can't keep up. I didn't say
Okay,
an older woman can't keep up.
Oh Lord.
I didn't say that. I
okay.
said that older women tend to, from my dating experience, have problems with doing certain things that I like to do. And so, because they're like, I ain't coming to do all that. I ain't trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? But if younger women, I don't have that problem.
What's the doing all that? That's what I'm trying to get to.
Just
What's the
if
doing
I
all that?
okay, let's say this. Say if I want to go to a lounge and I want to do some dancing. I've dated some
Yeah.
older. I've dated some older women that were okay because I like to dance. So I've dated
Mm-hmm.
some older women, and I know a lot of older women like to dance. I'm talking about my experience. So I can't speak about all women or the majority of women. I can just say in my experiences, they'll go dancing with me, but I like to dance. And they like, I ain't trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? And when it's time to become intimate, you know what I'm saying? Them younger
Okay.
women, they handle their business. The older women that I've experienced, because I have a lot of energy. You know what I'm saying? They like, you doing too much. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? And so I'm not trying to be told that I'm pleasing you too much. I have been
Oh
told
wow.
that. I have been told that. I have gone to counseling with my ex, and she told them he likes to please me too much, and it's too much. And she was 10 years younger than me. And I'm like, but isn't that what you want? You know what I'm saying? So you complaining because I'm giving you what you want too much? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? I need somebody that can handle that. And so those are just two examples of it. I mean, and there are more, but we'll come back to me later.
Veronica, you want to jump in?
Mike. Nope.
Come on, Veronica. I want to hear what you got. You're an older woman. So
I'm a seasoned woman, yes, and I have a youthful spirit and youthful energy, and I'm approached by a lot of younger men, and the stimulating conversation is just not there. So if we're talking about women in menopause and you don't want to deal with that, I think you put us all in a
box.
Because menopause happens at different times and different ages. And I'll just say for myself, I'm far past that, and I have more energy than some of these younger dudes that are circling me. So I think there's always an exception to the rule, Mr. Neal. There's always an exception to the rule.
And so with that being said, I did say that I'll go from 35 to 50-ish. So I'm not taking away from the older women. I'll date an older woman. I'm not saying that I want, but she has to she got to come with it, because I'm coming with it.
And hopefully you coming with it. So
I'm coming with it.
Asking for a lot of things.
I'm coming with it.
That I'm hoping you're going to reciprocate and lead in that area, in those areas.
I'm coming with it. So I just want her to come with it. That's all. Whatever that looks like.
Well, I think when you say you're coming, well, like I said, I want to piggyback on what Veronica said. I started menopause at 38 years old. So, you can't, like I said, you don't want to put us in a box. And again, I'm not offended by it. Like I said, that's your truth. I respect that. But I feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't, I don't know if I believe you, Neal. I don't know if I believe, and this is just where I am. I don't know if I believe you, because I feel like sometimes we make these things so challenging in terms of being in a relationship. So we have all these, things that we want and need. I need this. And when I listen to you, it's a little contradictory, because you talk about 30, 35 up, but then you said the dating experience has been harder. The communication is not there. And so when I hear you, it's almost like this back and forth. I don't know how to keep up with what you really want. It doesn't seem to me, and again, this is just me, just from what I'm hearing, objectively speaking, it doesn't seem sincere. It seems like it's performative. That's what I'm hearing, with all due respect. It seems like, I'm pleasing you too much. I don't know. It's just like, for some women, it's performative. It may not feel genuine. So I think sometimes we got to read between the lines. If somebody's saying you doing too much, you need to understand, like, okay, am I just performing? And again, I'm not saying this is what it is. This is what it appears to be. It appears to be a performative type of thing. So I remember hearing you say one time, when you get in a relationship, you want to outdo pleasing one another. And I feel like that's performative. And if you are having an expectation of somebody doing, that's performing. I feel it's performative. And no one can keep up with that, because I heard Veronica say natural. To me, that's not natural. Yes, I can keep up, but sometimes I'm going to be tired. Sometimes I'm not going to want to do that, but that doesn't mean I'm an old fogey and I can't do nothing because I'm in menopause and I'm so shriveled up and I can't do nothing. It doesn't mean that. It's okay if a person doesn't want to do something. So when I listen to you, it seems, objectively speaking, it seems performative. Like, let's outdo each other. I'm going to please you. You got to please me too. So it's just like, okay, the person is pleasing. You're pleasing that person. What if they can't keep up with your level of pleasing? What if they can't keep up with that? And so that your partner may have been saying he's doing too much, because I don't want to be performing all the time. I don't want to perform for my husband all the time. I don't want to be on all the time. Sometimes I'm shutting it off. And it may be for a couple of days. Yes, I'm going to still love you. I'm going to still care for you. But I don't want to be performing all the time. And that's, for me, that's what it appears. It seems performative.
I don't know where you got that from. I never. I don't know where you got that from. No, I did not say that. I did not say that. I don't know.
So
where
Neal,
you got
clarify for us, Neal, what you were saying.
So
or what you were trying to state. Sorry.
So to the performative part, let's speak to the. I've always believed that when I'm in a relationship with someone, I would like for both of us to. It's not a competition, but I enjoy pleasing the person I'm with. And I want the person that I would enjoy pleasing me. No, I don't expect her to do everything I asked her to do. So you was just going too far left with that. I'm not expecting you to be a robot. Come on, Nneka. Come on, stop.
I said objectively speaking, from where I'm standing, objectively speaking, that's how it appears. You can't, that's my perception.
And I
That was how
respect
she
that.
interpreted it. Yeah.
That's
I
my
respect that.
perception.
I
With all due
respect
respect,
that.
I said with all due respect, my perception when I hear that is performative. But that doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's a fact.
Okay,
it just means that's what I see.
No, I don't want you to perform. This is not a performance. I want everything to be natural. But I bring a level of energy. I bring a level of attentiveness. I do a lot. You know what I'm saying? I know what kind of man I am. I know how I treat women. Women don't tell me that I treat them bad. I don't get women to, I don't have those problems. So I know what I bring and I know what I'm told by women. So I'm coming to please, I'm coming to make you happy to the best of my abilities. Of course, I'm not going to do everything you want. And we're going to be realistic in this conversation. I hope I'm not expecting you to do everything I want. You know what I'm saying? No one expects that. But I do expect, just like you would expect me to be intentional. And I'm very intentional. If I want to be in a relationship with you, intention is number one. You're not going to question whether I like you, whether I'm considering taking this to a level that you would look to see it in. You're going to see it through and through unequivocally. So if that's the type of man I am, that's not being performative. That's being who I am, and I'm consistent with it. So, and I expect a woman to give me the best of who she is, whatever that looks like. That's what I want, because I'm gonna give you the best of who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be in a relationship that we've built a relationship over months, and you're negating or you're not trying to give me the best of you. I don't want that.
Okay.
I don't want that. Don't want that. Did that clear it up a little bit, everybody?
No, that was good. Veronica, I didn't know if you had a word or two. Look, I was looking at your facial expression, so I figured you had something to say.
I'm speechless at this point. I mean, that was a mouthful, and I'm still a little off, confused.
Well, help me. Let me help you out, because I don't want you confused.
I'm good.
Now,
so
Mike,
let's do this. Let's move on to the next thing. But that was a mouthful. That's why I waited to come to you last for that question, because I knew you was gonna give it to us. So, dating in your 50s, again, we said this earlier. That it seemed like it would be easier. The question: what is the dating scene like? Or I guess for each one of you guys now at this point, are people dating, especially in their 50s now? Is it because they want a companion? Is it more so they want a companion? More so they want to be married? Or just a hangout buddy, or other? What is the deal now? I talk to a lot of people in their 50s, and it's interesting to me to hear, because a lot of these folks have been married at least one time, some twice, some three times. But now it seems as though, and I could be wrong here, but a lot of people I've talked to in their 50s, they're not interested in getting married again. They're more interested in having a companion, somebody they can hang out with, somebody they can go do things with, go on a date with. Even at some point, staying back and forth at one another's houses, maybe a couple of times a week or whatever, but nothing that's like, even headed towards marriage. In fact, marriage is not even on the table. So for each one of you guys, just curious to know, are you dating now because you're looking for one of those things, one of those couple of things? You're looking to get married again. You're looking for a companion, or just looking for someone just to hang out with. Just interested to know, because again, we are not our grandmother's 50s. We're not even our parents' 50s. And so we're very youthful for us, nowadays in our 50s, and I'll say even in the 60s as well. And so it seems to be just a little bit different. Veronica, I'll start with you. Jeff, I'll go to you second. And then Neil, we'll let you come in and round us off.
Hey, Neil, can you put your phone on mute? I hear the dog until we are talking. Thanks.
Michael, that's a very good question. And I can tell you week to week, probably month to month and year to year in my current, state, I go back and forth in my mindset. Yes, my heart wants to be married again, but it has to be, I know it's got to be more than love. It's got to be more than same standards and values. It has to be purpose for me we have to have the same got to be have on the same line of purpose in life or mission in life, or or passion or something like that, for me to be that ride or die that I want to be. So definitely companionship, but I can get companionship from a dog. I can get companionship from a girlfriend, or groups and stuff like that, but when it comes to intimacy and romance stuff, I can just go on a date with someone that I value him for who he is, that kind of thing. So I go back and forth, to be totally transparent about it, to wanting to be someone's wife because I want to be able to fulfill him and be able to be that, I guess you call that, rib to what he needs.
Mhm.
But it has to be a purpose for me because I've done this before, and it has to go well beyond love. Because like Tina Turner said, what love's got to do with it? I need to make sure that we have a core mission together that's bigger than us individually for a marriage to come into place. And that could be behind a fear factor because, you've built so much at our age financially and all that other stuff. I'm like, okay, the whole conversation about prenuptial agreements may not go over well, but that's where I would go, because I've invested a lot in my life at this particular point, where I may be a little fearful that they're gonna pick up and run with what I got, and then I'm like destitute, that kind of thing. That could be a fear factor for me. So I go back and forth with wanting to be that wife for the person meant for me. And hey, I'll hang out all day long. I'll hang out as long as you good company in my good company, and vice versa. I hope that answered the question.
It does, but let me just push it a little bit further for you. So would you say that you're probably, I'm just listening to you, and this is what I'm guessing, you could be open for marriage, but that's not like at the top of the list?
That's correct. It's not at the top of the list. It's not at the top of the list, but I'm definitely open to it.
Got it. And just one more question. Do you think, just from the folks that you know who are in their 50s, do you think most of them feel like you do, especially women now, where they're like, you know what, maybe they haven't yet been married, or even if they have been married, their focus now in their 50s is, you know what, I'll play it by ear. You know what, I'm not like I was in my 20s and 30s where I had to be married, but now I'm just like, you know what, if it happens, it does. If it doesn't, I'm okay as well. Do you think that's the general opinion of women now, or is it that, you know what, I'm strictly on companion mode, I don't even want to be married anymore?
I'm gonna be totally transparent again. The women that I'm around, I'm a unicorn. The way that I just expressed to you, that's rare. The women that I'm around, they want to be no doubt married, and it's like a hunt. It's like a hunt. Or they want to play. They want to play. They want the sex without the commitment kind of thing. They're either one or the other. I'm the unicorn in the groups of women that I'm around.
And you know what, Veronica, that's what I was really trying to get to, is what camp are these women in? And is it more in the I don't want to be married versus let's go, I just want to have fun? Like Cyndi Lauper said, I just want to have fun, right? Or just a companion, or whatever the case. So that's good to know. Jeff, what say you, sir?
I am all of the above. Ultimately, I want to get married. I wouldn't mind getting married again. However, I do date for companionship, someone to hang out with, friendship. I date for all of the above. Now, during that time as we're dating, I am always gathering information, hoping that we can get along, that we have the same things in common. Just being able to talk and communicate together throughout our friendship. But ultimately, I would like to get married. And for me, I have a lot of friends who are divorced now, and they ain't looking to get married. They just want to play. They just want to play. And I have friends like you who are married, always setting the example. So I see both. But for me, I don't want to play the field anymore. I don't, if I'm dating, I'm dating one person with intention to find out where it could go. I don't want to date multiple people. It's way too confusing, and I'm too old to remember stuff right now. So I can't be out here lying and tell somebody one thing. So when I date you, or if I'm choosing to date you, I'm dating you and you only.
Real quick, Veronica, this question to you, because thank you, Jeff. That was a great answer. And something you just said, I'm glad you mentioned that last piece about dating. If you're dating someone, you're monogamous. It's just the two of you.
Yeah.
But for you, Veronica, is that the same thing for you? If you're dating someone, you're just dating that person, or it's just, I'm just right now, I'm kind of, I got to figure out where I'm at. I got to figure out if this is the one or this is not the one. And Neil, I'm going to get to you, but it just came up, and I just thought about you, Veronica, for that.
Yeah, I've always had a monogamous mindset, even in my 20s. So I don't necessarily think it's because I can't remember things. It's just I don't want to. I don't want to tug with nobody's heart, and it's just I don't have the capacity to. If I'm intentionally dating a gentleman, I want to be able to remember what makes him tick, what makes him smile, what he likes to smell me in, and hey, I want to know that, and I can't keep up with what this guy needs and what this guy wants, because then I'll feel like I'm bipolar or something. So I've always been a monogamous mindset. That's if we get to the point where we have that conversation and say, hey, look, are we exclusively dating? I need to hear those words.
Right.
Because I'm naturally a person who's going to network and interact and compliment people, and I ain't dating nobody. And somebody might think, oh yeah, she complimented me. She think I got big pecs or something. I'll do that. I don't care who you are, and I'm not dating anyone. And they might think I'm liking them, but if I admire you, I'm going to tell you that. But it has nothing to do with me being attracted to you to date you. So that's where I'm at with that one.
Hey, Mike, she said something that's very confusing sometimes to men. She compliments men, and we don't know if they like us or if we should shoot our shot on that, or if she's just being nice. It's the gray area in there sometimes, and sometimes you miss out on someone because you don't know if you should shoot your shot or if she's just being nice. But I digress. We can go back.
No, Jeff, that's good, because one of the things I was hoping to do was clarify some of that, because a lot of times women don't know that about men, right?
Yeah.
And Veronica, let me ask you a question. Did you realize that was the case?
No, I didn't. I think everybody likes to be complimented if you look nice, regardless of whether I'm actually romantically interested in you. So that's good to know. I mean, I don't know if I should stop doing that if that's confusing men or not, because I don't know if I can stop doing that. I mean, to me, shoot your shot. If she's complimenting you, there's something that she's attracted to you about, and shoot your shot, and you'll find out whether or not she's intrigued to go back. I mean,
as a man, I've been complimented. I've shot my shot, and she was like, nigga, I was just being nice to you. I wasn't, I didn't have no interest. I was just being nice. I'm just saying that you look nice. I didn't want anything else from you. I'm just saying that you look nice. So That's why I say it's a gray area sometimes for some of us guys.
That's good to know. I don't know how to navigate around that moving forward.
Jeff, would you pass on? Neil, we're going to get to you. Jeff, because you and I have talked a lot. Would you pass on what other pieces of information, especially now in your 50s, and this is going to apply to you as well, Neil, what other pieces of information could you pass on to women that might be misnomers, or maybe things that they just believe are true but aren't true? Like that example that you just gave, that was absolutely perfect. I don't know if there are others out there, because again, you and I have talked about this. I'm assuming that there are. So is this something else that you could pass on to women? And Veronica, this would be the same thing for you as well, Neil, you as well, but that you could pass on, Jeff? Because this is where I believe a lot of people are going wrong or hitting it and missing it, because we're doing this. We're overlapping one another, right? We're not talking to one another for understanding. It's this overlap. And so a lot of times these things get missed. And with these things getting missed, there may be opportunities that might have been blown or misunderstood.
So for me, sometimes I would like for a woman just to be clear about what she wants. If she's complimenting me and she's interested, just give me a small sign that, you know, maybe I am interested. I'm not just complimenting you being nice. I'm complimenting you because I like what I see and I want to get to know you. It helps at this age to have some clarity so we're not wasting each other's time. And if I like someone, I'm going to tell them that. I'm going to say, you know, hey, you know, is it possible that we could, you know, exchange numbers or go out or something like that? So I try to make it clear. For me, I've probably missed out on a lot because I didn't figure it out. And I was maybe not in the mood to try or to move forward to, you know, to see if it was something there or not. Because there have been times, the 2 or 3 times that I have thought something was there, it wasn't. And then that lowered my confidence a little bit about going it again.
Jeff, how did you know it wasn't there? Because I'm just trying to understand this. So
because I pushed for it, because I asked for a phone number or I asked could we go out or something like that. So that's how I found out.
And you were rejected? Is that what it was? They told you no? Or
no, like she's dating already, or she's not interested, or she has someone else. You know, whatever the common thing is to say, you know, not right now, or, you know, not for you.
Neil?
I don't want to create a conundrum for women. You can compliment me. And if I come at you and you not interested, then you're not interested, and I'll move on. I don't want women to question whether I should compliment somebody because he might like me, and he might. You know what I'm saying? And you just let him know, hey, I'm taken, or whatever the case may be. And once you tell him that, he'll move on. Jeff, I appreciate you saying your self-esteem has been struck once or twice. That takes growth. That takes a real man to say that out loud in front of other people. So I appreciate that. I really do. I had to say that to you. You know, women, I think women should be more open to compliment more. And I think you need to tell us. Say something nice to us. One thing I can say, and women never forget this. If you tell a man he looks nice and you like him and he don't say anything to you, you haven't lost anything. You didn't ask for a phone number. You didn't ask his name. You didn't do anything. You went up to a gentleman and said, you know what? You're wearing that, or your beard is really nice, or whatever the case may be. And if he's interested in you, he'll say something back and he'll talk to you. But I'm finding women are scared to compliment men because they feel like they're doing the approaching. All men are not out hunting. Even though I want to eat, I might want to eat later. I don't want to eat right then and there. I might be hungry, but I ain't trying to eat right then and there. I'm trying to eat later. But if some food walk in front of me and it got some hot sauce on it, I might go for it. You know what I'm saying? So if you speak to me, if you say, hey, how you doing? Then I have to speak back. That's called common courtesy. So if I speak back to you, and I'm going to say, well, how you doing? What's your name? And you engage me in an appropriate way that makes me feel that you want more dialogue from me, then I'll give it to you. But if you say I'm fine and you walk away, then I know. Or when you say that to me and I walk away from you, say hello and keep going, it's no harm, no foul. Because you didn't ask my name. You didn't try to get my number. You introduced yourself by opening up a conversation to let me know, hey, I'm interested in you. I'm finding that a lot of women take that as approaching men, and that's not approaching men. So I wish they would stop that. That is very disappointing for us men. A lot of us men don't have the ability to communicate effectively to women. So a lot of us are shy. You know, we don't want to be turned down. I was one of those men. I didn't want to be turned down. So I was scared to approach women, you know, because I didn't want to be turned down. I had to build up my confidence over time and realize the value that I brought to any woman that I talk to. Now, whether she likes it or not, that's another conversation. But I know my value and my worth. I know what I bring. So I'm not going to feel some kind of way if I get turned down. I'll just look at it as, oh, well, you know, I'll tend to find someone else if that's what I decide to do. So you all need to speak to us more. Come on over to me sometime.
Love it, Neil. Veronica?
Neil, I appreciate you saying that. Because if I am interested in more than just complimenting what I see, I have a tendency to touch the gentleman. You know, I laugh at your jokes and I will touch you. And I'm like, if he can't pick that up, then he's not assertive enough for me. Next, I need to move on.
See,
He
that's
can't pick up
different.
that because I'm Neil, I'm just not that woman to say I'm interested in you. Can we? I might say, hey, look, maybe we can exchange numbers and hang out later. I might say that, but I'm going to touch you if I am attracted to you after I compliment something specifically about you, because I'm like, look, I got to make sure that that's legit. I got to touch now. I got to make sure you straight. That's how I operate and show that I'm interested. If I'm not touching you, it's strictly a compliment that I admire.
But see how clear that was? There was a difference.
Okay, I get you. I get
She's not a regular woman.
you.
No, yeah, she is. She is a regular woman.
No, she's not.
And yes, she is.
I'm gonna go on mute.
Yeah.
No, you don't, Veronica. Come back off of mute. No, sir.
Veronica,
There's
the
nothing
way
wrong with Veronica. She's a great person that I've met before, and there was a difference in what you just said. One was just a straight compliment. I kept it moving. One was I gave a compliment. I touched. I might have said something extra. Now, if you can't pick that up, then it is on him. But sometimes there's just a gray area in there with it.
I don't think that if a woman come up to me and say, you know what, I just want to let you know, that's not a gray area. That's an open door. Now, if she just mean it, like Veronica said, I just wanted to compliment you and that was it, then that's fine. But any woman come up to me, and if I find her attractive and I find her interesting when I look at her and I want to get to know her, that's an open door for me. You know what I'm saying? So it's no gray area for women, because women are not big on coming on the men. They're not big on complimenting men. They're just not. You know what I'm saying? And they might see a man that look good, or he just got a nice suit on and it's tailored well. You know what I'm saying? It's hitting right. And they just want to give him a compliment. They don't want to feel like I'm scared to give a man a compliment when he deserves a compliment. So I take that as, okay, you give me a compliment. If I find you interesting, I'll come on to you. And if I don't find you interesting, I won't.
Okay,
So,
let me ask this question to Mike. Mike, you get a lot of compliments, you know, doing what you do. So how do you take it sometimes? I mean, although you're married, but you get compliments that are you might deem as compliments, and you can tell if it's extra.
Yeah, and that's a good question. So for me,
because we always in our suits and we always, you know, kind of looking good, you know, when we go out to do stuff. So you're going to get compliments. But then
what I typically do, I thank the woman for the compliment, and I let her know, listen, I appreciate it, and I kind of in a gentle way send her on her way, because I'm married. Right. And I don't make any bones about that. So if you know me, I mean, I might do something like this. I might tap my finger. I might even put my hands up so you can see I have a wedding band on. If it goes further than that, then I'll say, you know what? Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And so does my wife. Thank you so much. And I just keep it pushing, because I know as a man, especially as a married man, how easy it is to get in trouble. Right. Because my wife has pointed out to me to let me know, say, listen, this woman just did this. Recognize that wasn't just because she was paying you a compliment. She wants to pay you a compliment and pay you something else. So I need you to be paying attention. So I'm kind of a little bit more astute. And for me, Jeff, women probably would think I'm crazy, because I kind of throw it to the back of my brain. I don't pay it much mind, other than I appreciate the comment and I keep pushing. So if you're a man and you get a compliment and you say thank you and you keep walking, that's pretty much a sign to say, you know what, he ain't interested in me. Either he married, either he's taken, or something else is going on, because he didn't even stop to engage me in conversation. And this is one thing I want to teach men. Women, if they're gonna, if they're interested in you, they're gonna stick around for you to talk and say whatever you want to say, pretty much for as long as you're gonna say it, right? They will know if you're not interested if you keep on moving. If you keep moving, quite clearly there's no interest there on either side. So, and the biggest thing is you can't be afraid to take a no. Man, I've taken so many no's in my life. It's okay. A no isn't rejection. A no just is that ain't the one for you. You keep it moving. The next one will come along. You'll be okay. Don't let a no hurt your feelings. If you let a no hurt your feelings, you're going to wind up missing out on something. Because one thing I've had this happen many times. Sometimes women will tell you no in front of a group of women because they don't want other women to try to get at you. So they'll tell you no. And then they'll come follow up and be like, I wasn't saying no to you because I wasn't attracted. I was saying no to you because 5 of my other girlfriends who were standing right here when you walked up to me, all of them were attracted to you. And I just figured, I don't want to say that because if they figured I'm doing, they might try to come at you hard. So I'm like, okay, good. I get it. I understand all these little nuances, with women and with men, and I keep it pushing. But don't let a no, as Neil said, don't let a no destroy you. Don't let a no throw you all off your game. That just wasn't the one for you that day. Keep it pushing. You're going to be okay. We 50-something years old. You ain't, you ain't 20, you ain't 30, you ain't 40. You okay? You
It's
will
that,
be.
that age, Mike, that age thing gets a little more difficult when you get a little older, though.
You really? Tell me about it, because I'm listening.
You've
You
been
might be
married
right.
for a long time, Mike.
Yeah,
so
you right.
You was young. You was a young cat. When you get set in certain ways of yours, and your patience are a lot thinner, because our patience get a little thinner when we get older as men. We tend to certain things we don't want to have to deal with. We want to be engaged in a way that is confirmational, like Jeff said. I understand this gray area. That doesn't prescribe to me, but I get it. I do. I get it 100%. And he was on point for a lot of men. We want to know. Give us some form of confirmation that we can stand on, and that we can acquiesce to. We don't want you to make us feel like, okay, she just said something, but she didn't give me a certain eye contact, or you know what I'm saying? She didn't stick around. She just gave the compliment and walked away. Does she want me to follow her? So that's the gray area that I understand where he's coming from. And when you get older, you just want more confirmation. I'm different. I don't need the confirmation now. I needed it when I was younger. When I was younger, I needed that. You know what I'm saying? Because I was timid, and I was scared. And I didn't know how to.
That's a great point you make, Neil, because and this is the difference, I guess, in men. And now, ladies, y'all gonna hear men's conversation. Y'all gonna be in the back room, fly on the wall. When I was younger, this is just me, right? I think this is where the difference is between Jeff, Neil, and I. I've never been afraid to take a no. So for me, I wasn't the one who would, if I saw somebody and I was interested in them, if they kind of walked away, I would follow up. Because depending on how interested I am and how, because I'm very competitive as a man, and I'm trying to get her attention, I'm trying to get to know her. She might have said whatever she said, and I followed right up behind me. So we had to get to some end point where she just said, hey, I got a boyfriend, this, that, and the other. And just being honest with you, when I was younger, in my teens, and somebody said you had a boyfriend, that didn't really mean a lot to me, because I heard women say it before and I knew what the result was. But that was just me. But I would just again say, you guys, if you aren't sure, this is just me. Okay. Again, I've been out the game for a long time. Why not just ask her? Hey, ma'am, you know what? Thank you so much. I mean, I just want to, ask you, and if she tells you something that's final, it's final, as opposed to it's a one-off thing. She said one thing, you said one thing, and it just fell to the ground. That's if you're not sure. I'm just saying that's me. That's how I would approach it, because I know how I am. If I see something I want, I'm not gonna stop it. Oh, okay, she said no, unless it's a hard no, like no, leave me alone. I might go back and say, I might catch her another time in the bar or whatever the case is. Excuse me, I know it was a bunch of people around. Can I reintroduce myself or whatever the case is and kind of go from there? That's just me. And if I took a no a second time, it wouldn't bother me in the least. I'm fine with it. I'm confident as a man to know that today wasn't my day. My wife said to me one time before, she said, Mike, you ain't gonna hit a home run every time. That was a shocking revelation for me. That was years ago. So that's just me. That's how I think in my mind.
But let me be clear. I'm not afraid of no. And I've been just like you out there in the world, taking those. I'm just saying now, as I've gotten to my 50s, I like a little bit more clarity about what's happening. Because nowadays you have, this movement about the Me Too, and If you talk to somebody too long, or if she say no, you got to respect no, or does no really mean no? You know,
I get you.
So you gotta
And
watch.
that does play a role.
You gotta watch now how you pursue. If you over pursue, you can get in trouble and lose stuff.
Gotcha.
Or be labeled.
You know what? Thank you, Jeff, for
You gotta
saying that,
watch stuff like
because right. Again, keep in mind, I'm talking from experience from 30, 40 years ago. So you're right. Nneka, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I gotta go. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm leaving for a vacation tomorrow, so I gotta pack. I gotta go. This has been a wonderful conversation. I appreciate the candidness that we can have, and so there's no love lost, Neil. That was just how I felt, but I appreciate being able to be transparent and say how we feel. But there's no love lost, cause you know that.
Absolutely.
But I do gotta go. So
Enjoy your
Veronica
vacation.
and Jeff, thank you so much. I'll see you guys later.
Thank you, Nneka.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap this up.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nneka. Have a great vacation. Happy
Okay.
birthday to you.
Okay, thank you so much. See you guys. Bye-bye.
All right, Nneka.
And we're gonna get ready to wrap it up here as well. It's a great conversation. So Jeff, finish your point, and then Veronica, I
was finished. I was good. I'm good. I'm finished.
You good? Okay. Neil, Veronica, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Nothing to add to that, but you were asking earlier, what are some things that are confusing to women that men do? Mm-hmm. Like you asked the gentleman, what are some things that's confusing that women do that men do? I would say this one thing. When men are dating women, and maybe you've dated several times, you've gone out several times with her, and all of a sudden you just stop the communication. That's so confusing. That could be so confusing. It used to be confusing to me when they just stopped the communication. You've gone on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dates, and then all of a sudden it ceases without, clarity. I would say, like Mr. Neal mentioned earlier, he will come. He developed that rapport at that point to be able to tell her, okay, here's some things I don't particularly am fond of, or something of that nature. Just ghosting after dating for whatever many periods of time is confusing. We need closure. And so I don't know if it's being a good guy and you just scared, you don't want to hurt her feelings, to tell her the truth, or whatever it is you're not attracted about, or whatever turned you off. But I look at men more respectfully when I know what their why is. I just know I'm not their person. I prefer to hear it from them than for me to be sitting back wondering, okay, is he dead? Did he fall off the face of the planet? We are getting older. I don't know what happened to him. And then I'm thinking all of these terrible things, and it has nothing to do about me and my wonderful qualities or lack thereof qualities. It's like, don't ghost us. Tell us what it is. And in my opinion, I accept whatever it is and respect that. I just know that I'm not that person, and I might have been feeling that way at the same time, and I just hadn't got around to it. That's confusing to me, and so I've come up with something in my own head. If I don't hear from him after a certain time period, I tell myself he ain't interested, because I can't sit there and worry myself that he might be in some hospital or dead, and I'm trying to figure out who his family members, just to make sure he okay and breathing at our age. I mean, I don't want to feel that anymore. So please help us out.
I concur, Veronica. I think that I've done it. I ain't gonna lie, I've done it. And so, part of the reason, well, not part of the reason, the biggest part of the reason is I didn't want to hurt their feelings. I didn't want to be a part of the hurting of the feelings. And being a part of it is the physical, tangible aspect of the part. I'm a part of it when I ghost her and never call her again, but I'm not physically or tangibly a part of it. I don't have to hear her response. I don't have to wonder about what she's thinking, what she's not thinking. I already know she's like, where am I going? Where am I at? And I don't want to be a part of that. And I've been that guy before. So yes, we're wrong as shit for that. Excuse my French. Well, we're wrong as hell for that. Excuse me again. Yeah. But that's some bullshit. And it's wrong in every aspect of the word. And we should never do that to women. We should be able to effectively communicate with, look, sweetie, it's been an enjoyable time with you, or whatever the same case may be, but I'm not really feeling this going in the direction I would like for this to go in. But see, then it's the questions. Well, what's wrong? What did I do? And all of that. We don't want none of that. Just accept I said I'm not seeing this moving any further, and just accept that. And that's another thing. Men don't want to hear all the other stuff. You're trying to talk me into it. And then now I'm feeling vulnerable. Maybe I need to try more and all of that. You know what I'm saying? Am I right, Jeff?
You can't control how she's going to respond. You can be responsible for you having the integrity to tell her. Just like she needs to be responsible enough or mature enough or secure enough to say to accept it regardless of what your reasons are. You know, I'm just saying we don't like being ghosted, just like y'all don't like being ghosted. You know, hey, look, I try to do my best to tell the person, hey, look, I think you're great and you're wonderful and all these. I'll even tell you the greatest qualities, but at the same time, I'll be like, you just not for me. You got too much energy. You know, or I can't keep up with you, or you can't keep up with me, or whatever the case may be. Just don't leave us hanging. Just don't leave us hanging, because that causes to me in my mind. First of all, if she's a woman who's a nurturer and caring, she's concerned about your safety. Point blank. One, two. The other thing, if she sees you out in the street somewhere else with another woman, some women ain't rap tight enough to handle that. And they will go straight cold off on you in front of whoever you with. And you don't want that out in the street. You just don't want that. You don't want that energy. I would imagine that y'all would prefer to hear whatever other questions her wise when it's just you and her, instead of letting it build up in her and she wondering what's going on. Then she see you and giving hate looks at the lady you with. Then you got to explain that. You got double issues then. I'm just trying to give you some incentive to do right. Don't ghost us. Tell us. I got mad respect for you. Just tell me.
I'm with that. 100%.
Jeff, you didn't respond, so we need a response from you, sir.
She's right. Some of us aren't very mature when it comes to that kind of stuff. We don't have the balls to go up and say that we're not interested, because it's just easier to leave and keep it moving instead of facing the woman and telling her exactly why, and give her the opportunity to ask you questions, because that feedback might help her along the way for the next time. And hopefully, if you do give the feedback, she'll listen to it, she'll process it, and move forward with it. But we do owe women that responsibility, because, again, like Neil, I have done it before. But I try not to do that anymore. Actually, I don't do that anymore, because I've had women who I have met again later on, out 4 or 5 years later, and I've been told, oh, so you alive. You just ghosted me like 5 years later. I ain't heard nothing from you. So, and I'm sitting there like, oh gosh. I am sorry, I'm all in that, I'm sorry, I was going through stuff, but it doesn't matter. I still should have said something.
Absolutely.
If 5 years later she is fine and you shooting your shot, you ain't got no shot after you did that.
Yeah, that's true.
Veronica, I wanna say this to you. I wanna say that.
Wait a minute, hold up. Wait a minute. I may not be ready. Is this constructive criticism?
I'm not saying nothing bad about. I haven't said nothing bad about you.
Wait a minute. I just need to prepare myself. Wait a second.
Oh, that's too funny.
That's funny, Mike. I don't know what that's about, but that's funny. I want to say this. I want you and all the women to give men a little grace. And what I mean by that is, I wasn't raised by my dad. I was raised by my mom. A lot of men didn't have, in our age demographics, didn't have a father at home. And so, and if they did, their father never sat down with them and told them how to be with a woman, what to do, what not to do. The only thing that you hear, whether it's on the radio, social media, whatever, provide and protect. Those are the things you hear. And so those are the things that men equate being a man to be when it comes to being around a woman. And so if those things are the only thing that they equate, those are the markers that they have to achieve by. And so the emotional intelligence, in the last 5 years, everybody started using that. People really still don't even know what it means. It sounds good. That wasn't a thing, really. Men have never been vulnerable. I believe that most men want vulnerability and they want to expose vulnerability, but it needs to be a safe space to do so. I don't think that a man is able to be a real man until he's able to be in a relationship with a woman and know how to sustain a relationship effectively. I think that there are parts of a man that can never be divulged to any individual unless he's with a woman. Because a woman, the feminine energy brings out a thing in a man that no other thing can be brought. No one else can bring it out of him but a woman. So that's why when a man has a daughter, or a man is in a relationship with a woman, there are certain levels of vulnerability, and there's energies that he's able to receive from a woman differently, and there's energies that he can give because it's designed that way. We're designed to protect and provide and love and cherish and do all those things to a woman. But if we're never taught, my mother didn't teach me about a relationship. My daddy never set me down and said, boy, he didn't ask me about sex. We never talked about sex. My mama never talked about sex. I never was told you should do this, you should do that. Don't do this, don't do that. I got it out of the mud through relationships and my desire to want to be a good man and God, being spiritual. So have a little grace with us, because a lot of us are just not informed properly. We haven't been spoken to effectively, and we just don't know what to do. And so we think we're doing something, but we're really not sometimes because we just don't know that we're not.
I give grace and I hear
That
you.
was great.
Grace is
That was
given.
great. Thank you for sharing. Let me say this. Thank you to all of you for joining me tonight on Mandatory Conversations with Mike Johnson. This was absolutely fantastic. I love doing this show about dating in your 50s, the rules of reality and expectations, because they're all of these things exist, right? When you're in your 50s, it's a unique experience. It's a different experience. It's not like when you're younger in your 20s, your 30s, or 40s. This is a different day and time we're living in. So, everything is different for us in this particular age range, for those of us who are experiencing this dating scene thing. So thank you so much. We're going to do some more topics related to us being in our 50s, because there's so many things, again, finances, fashion, relationships, politics, all these different things. I feel like those of us in our 50s are making the greatest impact to that particular culture right now. So we're going to do some more of those. I want to thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Jeff, again, so much for being open, for being honest in your commentary, and for coming on, because some people were afraid to come on and talk about what this dating thing is like in their 50s, but you guys weren't. So thank you so much. We shall talk again. You guys have a wonderful week, and I shall speak with you soon. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everyone,
All right, Mike. All right, Jeff.
on tonight. We appreciate you. We out.